In Matthew chapter 20, we read about the parable of the owner of the vineyard, and he hires workers and he pays each of them for their work. A problem came when each worker, who was hired at different times of the day, were paid the same amount, a denarius. And the workers who started early expected to be paid more than those who had started later in the day. And an argument broke out, and some grumbled. This is a parable that Jesus taught in Matthew 20. But the owner of the vineyard says to one worker, he says, "But didn't you agree to work with a denarius? And don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I am generous?" The Methodist way of life identifies hospitality and generosity as practices that express learning and caring. Generosity is a basic Christian practice, and recently I've been reflecting about the increases in the mortgage rates, and I'm aware of many who are finding it hard to budget or are facing the challenge to make choices about what food that they can buy due to price increases. Many of us in the church of a certain age will remember the mortgage rates being just a fraction of 15% in the 1980s, and when finances were tight. Around this time I can recall arriving home one day and someone very kindly, very generously had done some grocery shopping for us and left it on the back door handle. And just when we needed it to feed our young children, over the years we have been blessed with so much, and it is important that we can bless others when we are able. And the work of the food bank today has been instrumental in helping families survive in the cost of living crisis. And many churches who run food banks or support their local food bank. At my previous church, we had a food bank and a clothing bank for adult and children's work. And working with the local council, we were able to connect with a national clothing retailer. And the outcome, to our surprise, that we were able to help clothe people in need across the town of Lowestoft. And as we were given a large lorry container full of new clothing. There are many ways that we can help in our communities. And some in the town centre churches have joined together to help litter pick in the local community. The generosity of the Northampton Methodist Church has shown over the years by giving to various charities, including All We Can, Action for Children, and the Methodist Homes, and many other charities too. As we look towards the future of Northampton Methodist Church and how we can be hospitable and generous and share ways in which we can show the community that we care. This parable of the vineyard manager who was generous towards all his workers may even surprise us. But today's reflection reminds me of the words of a theologian called Tom Wright, who says this: in reality, God is out in the marketplace. He's looking for people everybody else tried to ignore, welcoming them on the same terms, surprising them and everybody else with a generous grace. May we be generous, and may we be gracious to others, to all that we know and love, both far and near. Amen.